I think we'll just keep going because we're at the end of the 2 hours. So let's just try and have a conversation instead of yelling at each other.
Yeah, please.
There isn't a break. So what I'll say is you're listening to Planet Collingwood, the extended edition, and all those 16-year-olds laughing have just giggled. Yeah, that's a penis joke. If you've enjoyed the last 2 hours, please go to the website, freedomslips.com and or revolution.radio. Donate what you can so we can continue on this discussion. Studio A and Studio B. 100% listener supported, so it is you that actually helps us. Don't worry, dear listener, even if we're not on radio, the six of us will probably have this conversation off air anyway. It's just that you're listening in as well, which is awesome. Once you're at the website, please buy some merch, be it hat, t-shirt, onesies for the kiddies, and then pop into the chat room. The usual suspects are there, so we'll at least go for another hour. I'm just thinking about it's going to take forever to load on YouTube. However, we can do another hour.
Talking about YouTube, it's time for another shameless plug. Oh, of Monty's channel.
Monty.
I'm putting it in chat.
Harry's got a really good show coming up. This next one, top line stuff.
Monty.
Go ahead, Viking.
A lot of times, what they do when they have a show this long is they do a part 1 and part 2. That way, you get 2 hits.
Yep.
Yeah, so you just kind of divide it in 2 and do part 1 and part 2, and because 3 hours is too long. But I noticed this is what a lot of the heavy hitters do.
Well, yeah, I will just that was Planet Collingwood. This is Planet Collingwood After Party. So if Bruce took over the reins, just call it the After Party. So I'll do that. Yes, June, I'm on. As you turn up on the last minute. Oh, is that guy on? Oh, dear me. But we're going ahead. So. Yeah, we've covered a lot. So, do you want to talk about My Little Pony or?
No, Viking actually gave you good advice, Monty,
yes.
As far as revenue source. So what a lot of people do, like Veritas, I'm trying to think of the different websites, but what they do is they'll go like the first hour or 2 hours, and then they'll do the after party, or they'll go into other information, and they cut it. And then what they do is you got to actually go to Patreon. And so when you collect this content that we basically produced tonight, and whether you know it or not, it was really good radio. I mean, the numbers are really high even now. So what you would do is you would cut the program for the first hour or 2 hours, and then if you want more, you got to go to Patreon, which everybody's got to pay like $4.99 a month, and then they're part of that little club. I think that's how Veritas does it.
Yeah.
Maybe Red Ice Radio.
Yeah.
Who's the other one?
A lot of people do it, even in the entertainment industry. I need to talk to management before I do any of that because of the nature of the station. We've also been joined by a little horse. Hello, Pony. How are you?
Hey, you said pony before, and Google Voice automatically called you.
I like that. The conspiracy. I like that conspiracy theory where it's like, the government's listening to you, and my wife laughed. And thank you for ruining the joke. My wife laughed, and my daughter laughed. Alexa laughed. Siri laughed. Yeah.
So, Pony, what do you think is going on here with President Trump saying one day we're going to shut it down, and then the next day saying, well, we're going to shut it down in like 19 days.
He's in Australia, right?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Pony's in Australia. We don't care about Seppo stuff so much. We're looking on a global scale here.
No. You all watch. Australians watch.
No, we don't care. We watch America as something, as an example of what not to do, basically.
I know. Here's an idea. Let Pony answer the question. I'm just going out on a limb here.
Fair call.
Well, yeah, Trump, he got interviewed after the press conference, and the interviewee or interviewer was saying, what makes you think we'll be over this by Christmas? And he's like, Easter Sunday, it's such a beautiful day. I think we'll have the churches packed. So not to play into the Trump, not that I'm a supporter, but I think he'll be proven right. It gives the followers of Trump more power, more belief. And so he even said beginning of all this that it will be over by April, and then slowly it was changed, and now he's confident it will be over by April. I think he'll be proven right, just so that the followers of him will be up in arms and more powerful and more excited for the new election and get out and vote for him, perhaps. So just a little take. I've got other ideas, but I don't know if you've got time or what's going on. La-da-dee-la-da-da. Hello?
Well, I'm definitely doing another hour. So I'm just trying to have... We are being graced by someone of awesomeness, so I'm just going to add them. So, yeah, we can see what happens. I know we're filling air. Someone said, like, describe your job in the worst way possible. It's like, yeah, I push air or I fill air. So, Ahmed, are you there, sir?
Morning.
Mr. Pena.
You're up early.
I'm not sleeping right because I'm sick.
Oh, well, I hope for just a normal coldy, fluty thing, not the yeah.
Yeah, I've just had flu.
Okay.
I quit smoking dope 6 months ago, and I've been getting sick ever since.
That's what's doing
it.
it.
Yeah, the body's cleaning itself out, most likely, so.
Why'd you quit
smoking dope?
Why'd you quit? Just curious. Why'd you quit?
Just to dry out some. Hell, I've been smoking it for 50-something years.
Oh, okay. It's funny because, I was really surprised when Woody Harrelson quit. He quit about 5 years ago. And, there's a lot of long-time pot smokers who just kind of one day they wake up and they just go, I can't do this anymore, right? So I like to ask, why'd you quit, right? Because it's not like booze. It doesn't interfere with your life as much. You can do most things high. So most people who get into the habit of smoking every day for decades, they never quit. So I just curious. Sorry if I'm asking you an uncomfortable question.
I can give you my history here. I'm smoking probably since 72 and in high school. We go off to the football field to break and stuff. But finally about 35, I hit a wall and I said, well, either I can go down this road as a pot smoker, or I can go down this road and get my act together, and I'll actually have a life. It took me 6 months of juggling those two things, to where every time I got stoned, it didn't do anything until finally I just quit, and that was again when I was 35. And I probably smoked since then about 5 times, and it's like I get higher, drop it into my theta, going into my quantum dynamics than I ever could smoking a joint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I actually quit when I had my second wife, and she had a baby, and I realized that me smoking, that I was not functioning well, and it was something about a child that really did it to me, to where it was like a point in the road. And
not just responsible for yourself anymore, kind of thing.
It was something weird. There's no way of saying it. It's like telling a blind person what the sun looks like or what the color orange looks like. They're not going to get it. But once somebody actually has a child, it actually changes you. You don't, first off, you don't live for yourself anymore. You think about you're going to climb the Tetons, and you're going to rock climb, and you're going to do all this stuff. And then once you have a baby, all you can think about is is this really the best thing I should do for this child? Should I really do this or do that? In other words, it completely rewires your head. There's something about having children that, and it really affects women. Women really change. My son and my daughter-in-law, they just had a baby, and I knew what my daughter-in-law was like before the baby. Anyways, once she had that baby, it's complete change. Wow, that's gonna break her. You know, she thought she knew everything then, but now that she's got a baby, things are a little bit different. But anyways, go ahead.
Right on. That's I feel the same way. Not everybody quits when they have kids, though. Some people just keep smoking. Right. But anyways, let's get back on topic here. Let's get back on point here.
If you're doing anything for decades, it's a contrast. Change is as good as a holiday, you know?
Well, yeah, that whole thing of like being in that vibration, because I quit and I put on a lot of weight because I ate too many frozen pizzas. Don't do that. I'm slowly getting rid of it now.
Again? Diet pizzas?
Yes, yeah. I wrote diet on the box, and that was enough for me.
I could eat twice as much.
Yeah, yeah. I took the plastic off too. Let's be fair.
Yeah, but Bruce is right about where we're at as far as this coronavirus. So we've had a dramatic change just in 24 hours to where this thing is actually going to go now. And this is pretty much locked in date. So I'm hoping that Viking is actually right, and that the Q and the White Hats are going to roll up this cabal in the next 19 days with 10 days of darkness. They say the internet's going to get cut for 10 days from April 1st, I think, through the 10th. I think the actual date of Easter, I looked it up today because I just had to check. It's the 12th, right?
Yeah, Sunday's the 12th.
Yeah, Sunday's the 12th of April. And so Trump wants the church packed out. Basically, everybody's singing and worshiping God. You delivered us from this plague. By reference, it was because you sent your anointed king, President Trump. So I mean, it's got all the makings of a Hollywood movie. So, but I don't even think we're going to be able to go the 12th. Go ahead.
What I found interesting with watching it, because it was on the Daily Wire YouTube channel, so thank you, Dave Shapiro. No, Ben Shapiro. Trump hopes it by Chris from Easter, and he wants that to sort of unfold. They asked the doctor, there was 2 doctors up there, and the one doctor's like, the way, I can't quote him directly, but he basically pointed out that's the hope, however things can change.
Flexible, right.
Yeah.
Why would they cut? I got a question. Why would they cut the internet for 10 days? I mean, that's like, you're asking for trouble to do that when you got all these people.
If you were gonna cut the internet, the only purpose would be do things blacked out, meaning that there's stuff going on that the public can't know about while it's going on, i.e. something in the background that we're not supposed to be aware of. That could be anything from world domination to taking out pedophiles to anything in your imagination.
Right. No. John Z's right. It's going to go 2 ways. If we get blacked out, then we will know there's only 2 narratives left on the board. The one narrative is basically Viking, Q, they're taking out the deep state, they're taking out the pedophile, or the other narrative is they don't want us basically interconnecting with one another, finding out what's going on. Go ahead.
There's a third. They're doing it to change the digital platform of how we negotiate even our communication, but mainly our economics. They're changing. They're going over to a quantum financial system, and they need to shut down the internet because this is how all transactions occur. They basically go over the internet, and they need to completely shift the digital footprint to a brand new functioning system. I also want to say again for the second time,
about 80 countries' national defenses are on the internet too.
Exactly. Well, they're going to be however, there's other ways to communicate besides the internet. I still think it's very interesting. I mentioned this in the last hour, the first hour of the show. It's interesting how they're positioning these 2 huge medical boats or these huge ships off of these ports of New York and LA. In the event that the virus is winding down, I still think that these ships are being positioned for mass arrests.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I don't think the virus was planned by Trump, but I think that they were ready to do this, and they took the other side's virus, and they said, okay, let's unleash what we were going to do now. So it was kind of like a ping pong game, right? They just responded to the serve, and
right. That's Sun Tzu, the act of war, the art of war. You're actually right, Bruce. If they did, and I do believe that the deep state actually introduced this virus, and I'm really concerned that 21 million cell phones went off air or didn't get paid for in China. But if they did invoke this thing, if this was a plan, a worldwide plan, it does look like all the nations are going along with it. Everybody's locking down, even though we don't have evidence of it. They're using their media platforms, basically pumping it up. That President Trump has basically, with Q, flipped the script, and now they're going to go hot. So we will see in the next 19 days, all the way up to Easter, whether this is going to be the deal. And then the other thing I wanted to ask, Ahmad Painter, you're the manager of the station now, pretty much the owner. I mean, you're pretty much the quarterback. So how are we doing on the money? Should we be trying to get people to support the station more? Are you
making it? I mean, yeah. If we could get more support, we could move the studios again into a place where we could get our archives working back again.
Is there a reason why we're not posting the current flow of transactions?
Yeah, because we no longer have PayPal and we can't keep an eye on it.
So they are.
Wait. So we shouldn't be pushing PayPal then?
No, I mean, if you'd read your emails, you'd know what's going on.
All right.
So all of those get emails, Willa.
Yeah. So can you just elaborate? Is it basically bank cards that we're doing this?
We got a bank card, or you can join Patreon, or you can mail a check or money order to Terry Ackerman. But you got to make it out Revolution Radio now. We're a business now. We ain't just fly by night like we were with Hawk.
But you can use bank cards.
Yes. It's the donation button at the top of the page.
Okay, that's all I have. That's all I want to know.
We can't. It all goes to the bank now. Nobody touches it. It doesn't go to one of us. It doesn't go. It goes straight into the bank account. Other than the money order.
But my point is, it does show a balance sheet. I mean, is there any reason why you're not posting the balance of what we? It used to be that we raised this much money.
Somebody would have to go to the bank every show and do it. Then, if
it would be going to the bank. There's online banking. You could push a button on the internet, go to your bank account. You could basically, it takes 3 minutes. I think there's no excuse why it can't be posted.
We got one person that's the bank account, and that's it.
If you want to have
to supply, you're not going to sit there and report on every single show.
But if you want a viable fundraising event, you have to be transparent with the crowd. It'd be nice to be able to have it posted where we're at, or I don't know how serious this thing is. I'm just saying it's not that hard.
It's real serious. We'll say something.
I'm saying it's not that hard to be transparent with where we're at with the funding.
Well, it is when the person that takes care of it's got a full-time job and has got a husband who is a paraplegic she has to take care of, and the duties here at the station.
You can figure it out. And I think we're at the point of the conversation where this should go off air because we're roundabouting. We're roundabouting. That's all. But let's get the boffins involved and we can figure this out so everyone is happy and makes it easier because there are ways through it, I'm sure.
So what basically?
Can I? I wanted because we haven't spoken about it in 2 hours and 20 minutes. From whatever's happening in the Democrats are basically still digging a hole because they want to destroy themselves as a party. Because I think Ahmad he shared actually that they finally, if you want to explain, talk about it a little bit, Ahmad, they actually finally agreed on the $2 trillion package or something. But up until then, like Pelosi, the Democrats were being democratic. If that makes sense.
No, it's up to $6 trillion. It's up to $6 trillion now.
Well, the article said $2 trillion. So, but
I know they said $2 trillion, but it's not. It's actually
Well,
6.
that article was posted yesterday evening before midnight.
It's actually 10 trillion. They actually want to put 10
Yeah,
trillion
it
into the system.
It says 2 trillion.
It's up to 10 trillion. Oh my God. Trump is going to be the next president. He's robbing us all. He's playing the game. He's definitely playing the game.
Well, so you have to understand here.
How can they increase it without voting again?
This has been.
I have a better question. How can he steal from something that's completely made up?
See, it's not stealing.
Go ahead.
Viking and then HiJacker. Thank you.
So basically, you're dealing with the Federal Reserve, which is a central bank, which prints money into infinity. So they basically opened up the fire hydrant, and they're letting go trillions of dollars in this digital system just to keep this whole system propped up. We do not owe this money. The central bank is basically taking this upon themselves. Central bank, Federal Reserve is not part of the United States. It's part of the United States Incorporated. The United States Incorporated is going into debt. It's not us.
Yeah.
We're not. $10 trillion. It's not us.
You can say that all you want, but try not to pay your taxes. Look what happened to Sean.
No, you pay your taxes. We have a certain obligation based on our infrastructure. But when they're using this infrastructure to prop up Deutsche Bank or Bank of Japan or trying to keep some country from collapsing because their bond market's imploding, this is not our debt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, now that you told me it's 10 trillion, that means President Trump is in the loop now. That he knows this is the coronavirus is a drill. He knows what's going on, and so he's going along with this 10 trillion. He knows that they're going to economically reset basically the worldwide economy. 10 trillion means he is going to prop up banks in Japan, Germany, and so
it's not him. Yeah. It's the central banking. Yeah, if I was Trump, I would ask for 100 trillion because it's all fake money anyway. Spend it wisely and let the system collapse, and they will owe nothing.
Right. Well, the thing is that some people come up with brilliant ideas about putting 99 miles of tunnel that connects basically the 5 continents together with 6-lane, rail lines, in which we got a real global economy, but with $100 trillion infrastructure project. But they don't want to listen to that. They don't want to do that. They want to collapse it. So this is a collapse. And so I guess what they're doing now is they are collapsing it. And everybody's cashing out. That's what we saw all the CEOs basically, pulling back. Disney, Microsoft, all these different people, they grabbed their money and ran.
No,
Walmart,
not because
Walmart grabbed $64 billion dollars.
And ran. Yes, they did, but it's not because the system's collapsing. It's because they're cutting and running. There's a big difference here from them cutting and running than the system collapsing.
We have been joined by Two Feathers.
He's muted.
Well, he still joined us. He's just not talking.
Yes. How's everybody doing?
Yeah. Hit us with something important. It's got to be important.
Yeah, it's very important. Mad Painter asked a while ago, how can they pass this type of money, without voting on it? And I heard his exact answer yesterday. It was said that what can happen is Nancy Pelosi, being the House leader, and also or the Speaker of the House, I'm sorry, and Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer. They all three can get together, and there's not going to be any debate on the matter. And what can happen is they all agree and it gets sent straight to President Trump's desk, and that's how they do it.
Well, just bear in mind here, there are two funds. There's the bill they're trying to pass that's supposed to bail out industries and send us all a check, and then there is a second fund, which is the central bank fund to bail out with the suppression team to keep this market alive. Because it's a dead horse, they're dragging it, and it won't last much longer. But there's two funds here, so don't confuse the two.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But with that said, though, he said now they do have.
Sorry, Two Feathers, you're very quiet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go.
I had my microphone up. They said if there's one that wants to interfere with the all clear, that then there's going to be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Whatever one they're voting on, that Viking's speaking about, that if there's some kind of person that disagrees with the go along, then of course they're going to be fighting again, and then they're going to be debating and back and forth. But if they all get together,
but the problem is in this bill that the Democratic Party pushed in about 24 separate bills which have nothing to do with coronavirus to the tune of $60 billion. This is, or actually it was like 1.2 trillion on top of the coronavirus. And this is what they're debating, is the fact that there's a bunch of stuff in here that should not even be there that they're trying to pass on the tail of this major bill. And this is where the conflict is. And the Senate's not willing to pass it with the House's pumping it up for their nefarious means, because they feel that this is just a way to create a slush fund that will not service the people. So they're trying to ratify this with more of a intent for the people and not necessarily for their it's like it was all across the board, giving money here, giving money there, had nothing to do with coronavirus.
Yeah, no.
Yes.
You're giving millions of dollars to Planned Parenthood for abortion. They put that in there. They put in millions and millions, maybe billions of dollars. Yeah, billions of dollars for the Green Initiative, and so they completely loaded it up.
Doing the same thing here in Australia. Sorry to interrupt, but doing the same thing in Australia. Like the stimulus package is holed up because the Greens want to do their own New Deal here in Australia. So yeah.
So
go ahead.
what we're seeing basically, it could be that, and I hate to go back. I shouldn't say I hate, but for you all to go back to Scripture, it talks about the white horse giving the crown, the corona. He goes out to conquer and to conquering. And so maybe all these people are being blackmailed saying, look, we gave you a fake virus. We maybe gave you a real one in Wuhan, China. But we will give you a real virus worldwide if you don't go along with our plans on, how we want to fund this and that. And so maybe, I'm personally thinking that basically President Trump is mitigating the problem, and he's got to deal with these people, and he's going along with the program, and that's why he's coming up with this $6 trillion package. He's thinking these people got drones, they got chemical weapons, they can kill 50 million Americans, and I'm not going to have that on my soul. And so what do you want? What do you want? This, you want like a couple $1 trillion? Well, okay, all righty, okay. So here's a couple $1 trillion. Don't blow my baby's brains out. Here, you can have the money. That's what I'm thinking. Go ahead.
Well, I'm still in the camp where I don't think that this was deliberate. I think it was accidental. It's caught the entire world off guard in all camps. And the other thing that's being tossed around here is that because this virus got let loose, it's not as strong as it was supposed to be weaponized much stronger, that we're developing an immune to it. So if what they're saying is that the second virus might not even have an effect unless it's a chemical weapon. But as far as viruses go, we're already developing an immune system to it, and I don't really think there's going to be a second wave.
Well, my thing is you know, I wanted to ask you all's opinion here on the round table is why in the world, you know, and I don't agree with you know, Moscow Mitch McConnell. I don't agree with him a lot, but I did, you know, kind of sided with him yesterday when he was talking about, you know, why would the Democrats throw in a Green New Deal on an emergency fund? I mean, what's the purpose of it? Over. Why would he do something
Well,
like
he's taking advantage. They're taking advantage of the you know, the chaos and the fact that people are freaking out, and we need this to pass, and they know we need this to pass, and so this was an opportunity that they could not pass up. It was like a golden opportunity for them to all these bills that they tried to get through in the past and were shot down. They threw it into the package, and they wrapped it up with the coronavirus relief fund, and the Senate's not buying it.
There is the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Over.
Is this a Garfunkel song or what?
Yeah, it's our first. It's our first.
Over. We were waiting for it to fill
Sorry to stand on you there, Bruce, but I was just going to point out after 2.5 hours, it's our first lull. And there it is. Okay, right. And here we go. Yeah, I enjoyed the first lull. It's if you watch your DVDs with your commentary on, it's the sign of a good or bad commentary, because you have to have those lulls.
Maybe we can talk a little bit about what people can be doing to take better care of themselves and to try and cover as many possible outcomes as possible. Maybe that's a good topic.
Well, sounds constructive.
Well, from the virus point of view, one thing that was put forward is stop smoking, because if it does attack the lungs, you don't want cigarette in there. So that's just now. Of course, this is what's the medical disclaimer? We're not doctors. I've met one, and so we're just putting forward what's worked for us. And if it works for you, go ahead. Don't drink fish tank cleaner, for the love of God. For myself, I would have apple cider vinegar, which is like a teaspoon in about 250 mils of water. I don't know what the conversion is. I'm sorry. And you dilute it with water, and that helps boost your system. It's not a cure-all, but it helps. Like fresh vegetables, exercise, everything else like that.
Right. Well, like pickles help because you get the vinegar through the pickles. I bought a couple of pretty large jars of pickles, but also vitamin C. You get vitamin C, D3.
Sunlight. Yeah, sunlight as well. If you can go out, you don't leave your house and wander for 15 minutes. Just in the front yard or the backyard and try and get some sun. And that's what I found interesting.
And barefoot.
Oh yes, yeah. Get on some actual dirt and grass and barefoot and connect. Grounding like that. Cortek, for us, isolation slightly better because we're going into winter now. The northern hemisphere or inner ring, I'm playing to both sides of the fence there, is summer. And it's going to be a little bit harder because, it's going to be an awesome day, but you have to look through it through a window and can't leave.
Yeah.
Generally people, generally winter comes, you get a little bit more cold and flu. So I don't know if that plays in our favor or not.
Well, actually, it's autumn and spring when the temperatures are changing. The body starts to freak out, and that's when you get it. But yeah, mind you, let's come on. This is Revolution Radio. Let's talk vaccines. Would you get one if they had one? If they have a cure for the coronavirus, would you get one?
No, they've lost all credibility on all vaccines.
I'm a big guy.
Years.
A vaccine is not a cure. An inoculation is a cure. A vaccine gives you a case of the virus.
Yeah, that's better way to say it. Thank you. Yeah.
I think that's what people think generally these days. After all that mucking about. Over.
I'm a big guy. I would need three shots. I'm joking.
I would only get it if John Z was giving it to me.
Oh, I like that one. Yeah. Would that be standing next to him, or from a clock tower with Lucille?
Or if John Wayne, because John Wayne lives on a farm, so I'd be getting the pure stuff. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Hey, so
let's game out. Let's game out what President Trump is going to do tomorrow.
Wait, I'm not done yet here. I want to add to Monty's list that turmeric is really good, and you can get into your Chinese mushrooms like chaga and lion's mane. I do a regular course of all this, and also the most important thing here in the frequency level is the acidity of the body. See, the optimum acidity is 7.5 to 8. I've got pH strips in my drawer here. I take my own test here, because when you're in the acidic state, which is a lot of processed foods and meat and dairy and wheat, this is where you're creating a temporal zone for this virus to thrive. So the frequency here is also very much what you're eating, and as I said, lots of greens and staying hydrated. Hydration is important, and the apple cider vinegar is good. Also, baking soda. You can also do baking soda. It's very, very alkaline. And as far as the pickles go, I still have 80 jars left over from last year, so I'm set with my pickles.
So
Pickles are great.
as of right now, they don't have vaccination for this virus, correct?
An inoculation or a vaccination?
I don't think they have anything. They're testing.
Either one. They're giving out some kind of medication for malaria.
Oh, malaria.
It's malaria.
Yeah, that's called therapeutic. They don't have anything right now. They don't have any inoculation or vaccine, although they got it ready, but they didn't want to jump us really early, and so they're hoping to stretch this thing out. That's why I want to actually continue the conversation about, what President Trump is going to do. But it does look like he's going to shut this thing down pretty soon. I don't even think it's going to go to Easter.
Yeah, I heard before.
Go ahead.
Well, that's going to be. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting thing if Trump does that. I don't see Trudeau following along, Johnson following along, Europe following along. You know what I mean? It's definitely be an outlier move, especially with the way that it's been ramped up here in Australia.
That's what Trump does. That's the reason why they hated Trump. He's not going along with a program. He's not going along with child human trafficking, sacrifice. He's not going along with this.
Yeah, but what happens if from this action the second wave hits the United States and a lot of people get sick?
There is no second wave unless the deep state decides to release.
I have a question though.
And basically the deep state releases these drones, and what they do is actually spray us with a real bioweapon. And I think that's what President Trump is dealing with now.
So
I think he's dealing with the deep state, and he's telling the deep state, don't do that. What do you want?
The battery life on drones is like 5 minutes.
Where do you come up with this stuff, HiJacker? That he's being put in a corner because the lives of 20 million Americans. What?
It's the way the world works.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
It's all by force. It's all by. Ask John Z. John Z. He's a military guy. When you got people in the corner and you're shooting at them, finally, when you get so much pressure on them, what do? They lay down their weapons. They throw up some kind of white flag or yellow flag or whatever, and they go, "Okay, don't kill me no more. I give up."
That doesn't fit the cornered animal well-known phrase or saying at all. Over.
No.
Well, all I know is that President Trump switched.
My
and he's
question
switched
is,
for a reason.
oh, go ahead.
No,
I was just gonna ask that.
He didn't switch. He did not switch. He's just playing the game, man. It's just like, you know, again, it's a bait and switch here, and I just feel he's on his agenda and his campaign, and he's got the military backing him. He's got his round table. He has his round table. You know, he has his own negotiating team here, and you know, it's just a matter of time here before he makes his ploy. Whether it's Easter or not, I don't think Easter is even a date to kind of consider, because it's going to play out on a timeline that is not even close to what we can imagine.
Very quickly.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Dr.
He could be throwing out this date just to keep the deep state busy with another, you know, nefarious act. You know, and he's there to counter it. Again, he can throw this stuff out, but he's ready for a mop up every time they shoot themselves in the foot.
I was just going to quickly say for the dear listener, both press conferences are up on YouTube. So if you want to have, you can actually watch both, and then you can see if you can see different. I can't see much of a change. The thinking has changed, but I don't see how much of a change that HiJacker is put forward. So I'm just letting people, you know, decide for yourself, basically. Oh, and also I'm thinking for my title for my YouTube is going to be Virus or New World Order or Mass Arrest. Choose your own adventure.
Hey, my question is, why? And I'd also like to get Bruce's opinion about Trudeau. Why is he gonna go along with this, or is he not? But the thing is, I would want to know, why is it that President Trump, when somebody asked him, you know, he said by Easter, but somebody was saying, well, what about before Easter? And he said, no, I'd like to go at least to Easter. Why would he go longer than shorter? Over.
Yeah, excellent questions. Very symbolic timing too, Easter, right? You know, so I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. I could only speculate. Speculation is Jacker's department. He reads people's
thoughts. What about Trudeau? You're from Canada.
He passed an emergency bill today for emergency tax, so they can change or alter or create new taxes to raise money. And he's given himself basically martial law financial power. And the Canadian media is talking about it quite a bit because he has a minority government. But given that he's officially the prime minister, you guys know what a minority government is. I don't think you have this in the United States. What you guys do is you check and balance things through the House of Representatives, the White House, and the Senate. But in parliamentary politics, you can be prime minister, but what a minority government means is you don't have enough members of your party in the House of Parliament to pass all motions if you have party unity on the motion. And usually they do, because they threaten their own MPs, right? Ministers of Parliament. So he has a minority government right now. And just like his daddy, Pierre, who called the War Measures Act in 1972 to deal with the Front de Libération de Québec, Quebec separatist group, he's doing like martial law stuff in Canada. And I had another buddy send me a picture on Facebook, a Canadian friend. He's a truck driver. And it's like a convoy of like 30 military trucks on Highway 416 going into Ottawa. So I don't know, something's up in Canada. Trudeau is a very ineffective leader, though. He's just really the worst prime minister we've ever had.
So he'd rather prefer choosing a martial law over what is his economy like over there? Like,
oh, Canada's falling apart, man. You know, I received a small blessing with Stardust Ranch because you know, it's selling fairly well, and most of the money is U.S., right? Canadian dollar is tanking, man. It's down to like 68 cents Canadian. So when I came over here in 2014, September of 2014, one Canadian dollar was worth about 460 Costa Rica colones. It's now worth about 396 Costa Rica colones, the lowest it's ever been since I've been here for 5 years. So the Canadian economy is completely tanking. Coronavirus won't help. It's the same thing in Canada. They're doing social distancing. It's funny because when you go through the list of businesses that are allowed to stay open through the emergency quarantine, in Canada, the liquor stores, and they'll deliver, and the pot dispensaries, and they'll deliver. It's just like they want everybody home drunk and high or something. It's really weird.
So let me ask you this: Why would they prefer a martial law over the prospering of their people?
Well, that's just in Trudeau's DNA. He's an Illuminati punk, and they love their little show force. These kinds of people, right? Because they can't win people over by reason and compassion and merit. So this is how they do it. Plus, he's probably Castro's kid. Who am I kidding? You know, he's Fidel Castro's kid. I'm not joking either.
Look at the photos. Like the photo, you look at the photo, it's eerily scary. Roughly the same age. It's like, you know, it's like if my brother is standing next to me, unless you squint really hard for 45 minutes, we don't look like we're brothers. But once you find the tell or the genetics, like, oh yeah, with Trudeau and Castro, 0.7 of a second, they're related. Yeah, they've got the same genetics, and it's not like, oh, they look like. No, it's the genetics. It's a copy of a copy type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually are related.
Well, yeah, because apparently Trudeau's mum was a bit friendly, shall we say?
Oh yeah.
And Bruce does not look like his bulldog.
No.
Well, no, because Bruce is first.
We kind of look alike.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Not a bulldog, pit bull, American Staffordshire Terrier. Yeah, sweetest little fella ever. Yeah.
And the cats are really friendly.
I have 6 now. I got 3 kittens here. They're bothering the shit out of me. They're at that stage where they crap in the house, driving me crazy. You never know till you smell it.
I don't know how true it is, but I just found a YouTube video that said U.S. lawyers file a $20 trillion suit against China for the virus.
Wow.
That has been not the thing, but a lot of anger towards China. It's the Chinese government actually. They're blaming that they should have had a lockdown. So it'd be interesting to see. Like, okay, let's because we've got about 15 minutes, and I'm calling it a day because my head hurts. Apparently, the energy's going through the roof for everybody, not just this call. Let's play with how would that work in international courts? Would they go to The Hague? Is that it? I have no idea, so I'm going to ask silly questions. So how would they process through that legal ease thing? Anyone?
Dude, that Castro picture, dude, is really seriously scary.
Okay, no one.
No, he really. And then when you know the travel schedule, because his father Justin Trudeau, Pierre Trudeau, was gay. They call them a Valentine marriage. A lot of the Illuminati types, they have them, right, because they're into what gets them off ain't normal, you know. And so he was gay. And I was growing up in Ottawa while Trudeau was prime minister. My dad told me, he said, that guy's gay. And we thought he was crazy. We didn't believe my dad when he told us when I was about 12 or 13. He told us at the dinner table. We were talking about, because when you're a kid, you like leaders like that. My dad, he just would not hear of it, right? Even though you're only 12 years old, you should know better. But he's a poofer, right? So, and he was an open communist. I mean, he ran a democratic country, but he praised communism. Trudeau, his father, was the first Western leader to go into China. He paved the way for Kissinger. Trudeau went first, Kissinger went after Trudeau. And there's another interesting Pierre Trudeau story. Even before he was Prime Minister of Canada, when he was traveling as a young man in his 20s, he lived in China for about a year, when nobody was allowed in there, right? So he was heavily influenced by their culture. He adored. Fidel Castro was a pallbearer at the funeral of Pierre Trudeau in the in the 90s when he died. Okay, that's how close they were. I'm telling you, Justin Trudeau is Fidel Castro's biological child. And there was one of the legitimate Castro sons in Cuba gave an interview to a Cuban newspaper, and he said, he was always being compared to Jacker. We don't need your camera, man. You're chewing up my bandwidth here. Thank you, buddy. That he was always being compared to his Canadian brother. Why can't you be more like your Canadian brother, Justin? I'm telling you, it's Castro's kid. That's how these people roll, man. This is straight up satanic culture. This is the one thing Jacker and I agree on since I started this book I'm working on, because it's being proven to me, right? And everything is a mockery with these people. And, the reason they exist is like most normal human beings don't want to believe people that evil, that deceitful actually exist. But they do. They do.
Now, we've got 10 minutes to go, and since I've got half a football team on here, let's start wrapping it up with final thoughts and comments. Who would like to go first?
Throw me the ball.
Yeah, go ahead.
Two feathers, go ahead.
No, man, I just appreciate everybody on the call, man. It's just a pleasure, being on with you guys, and it's always awesome to be here, with you guys.
Well, thank you for being. Thank you for being a listener, and thank you for joining the roundtables, because it is interesting and quite good to hear from you as well. So you add to the station as well, my friend.
Thanks, Monty, man. It's always a pleasure, listening to your comic relief, man. It's always awesome, but it's good to hear old Viking over there sometimes, and his galactic input there. And of course, always Bruce and HiJacker.
I'll keep it going after Monty goes for a little nappy nap.
Yeah, because I'm feeling it in the head, and Viking just put into the call chat the latest Schumann resonance, and it's going off like a frog in a sock in a fry pan. It's spiking, so the energies are being felt. Even my friend Melissa.
So Bruce, you're to carry it.
Yeah, I'm gonna carry it. If John Z stays, I'll stay.
All right. You want to party? You haven't had enough punishment.
You sound like a bull faggot in a maximum security prison when you say that. You realize that, right?
I'm just going to hug you, and I'm going to let go and then hug you again.
It's time to party, boys.
No, I'm going to beat you.
Social distance, people. Social distancing. Come on.
Everybody's got to have goals, Jacker. Everybody's got to have goals.
Anybody that's what's the clear out before Bruce takes over? I was going to take over, but looks like Bruce is going to take over. So
you don't have server privilege. You don't have server privileges, Jacker. I've been restored.
Actually, I've been restored too.
Oh, so, really?
Yeah. Has them.
You want to battle? You want to battle for the server?
No. Let's not do that. Mad Painter. So where are we at with the money? What do we need with the money?
I didn't do it. I have no clue how much money we got. I know we're making the bills. That's all I know.
Yeah. Well, tell us. Basically tell us.
If we get low, if we ain't gonna make it, the management team's gonna make up the difference. We're gonna keep the station going no matter what.
I know, but that's not the concept. The concept is not basically the management team has to make it. I mean, this is a business model.
Well, we haven't had to put any money into it yet.
Right. So,
but we will if it has to be done.
Right. So, where do people basically need to go to basically contribute the money to keep the station going?
To the donation tab on the donation tab top for credit cards and bank cards, or you can join the Patreon, which comes out every month, or you can send a check or money order to Terry at the bottom of the page.
Okay, so where do you find that?
On freedomslips.com or revolution.radio.
Oh, you got the Revolution.radio back online. You paid for that?
Oh yeah, I was just down for. We had a problem with they didn't want to take a damn bank card from us.
Yeah,
no,
we're being hit.
They were being stingy because it's over in Holland or some damn place.
Right. So basically, if you want to keep the content going, if you want this kind of content, which is really far out there, I will agree. Go to basically revolution.radio or freedomslips.com and make a donation. And basically, none of us get any money. I mean, I wish I could have got paid for the last 10 years, but it didn't work out that way. Yeah, I mean, it didn't work out that way. Things worked the way they worked, and that's the way they worked. I could give you an email address right now to help support me, but I'm already too deep into this deal, and so just throw your energy, your money into revolution.radio or freedomslips.com. Throw a few dollars into that, and that's over. We did the best we could. So we're gonna continue on.
Yes,
Bruce MacDonald.
I need to wrap up before we do that, though.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know if there's a break or not, so I'm just going to do it before, if there's a break or not. To shorten what HiJacker just said, thank you for listening, and please send money. I would like to thank, and get comfortable, anyone. This list is long. Bruce MacDonald, John Z.
Money needs money. So money. So how can people actually send you money? Because you actually have to survive. Go ahead.
They can just subscribe to, my PayPal, I think, is waferthin at iprimus.com.au, but I changed that, and yeah. I would like to thank Bruce MacDonald, John Z, The Viking, Cortek, HiJacker Pony, A Mad Painter, and Two Feathers. And for you listening, if you're on YouTube, please like, subscribe, share, and or comment, and be polite about it. Right now, I need to be monetized on YouTube, so the best thing to help would be I need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time. So I'm getting there slowly. So thank you very much. And if there's no
break, would you
break,
like me to stick a break in?
I'm fine with it. It's up to everyone else. That's a no. So that was Planet Collingwood, the after party. Coming up next is the Bruce MacDonald HiJacker Celebrity Deathmatch, and no, it'll be continuing on with the conversation.
No, that's funny. That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's why I get the big bucks here at the station. And while I've got you a Mad Painter, I'll see if I can come up with an idea for with Patreon, do Patreon only things or something like that, just to give a bit of incentive.
We have a Patreon channel.
Yeah, but what I mean is like. Yeah. But what I mean is like, say I could interview one of the hosts for 5-10 minutes, and you put that up behind the paywall in Patreon, so it's more of an incentive for people to go on to Patreon and do it that way.
Well, eventually, once we move the studios and we get the archives straightened out, whoever wants the archives is going to have to join the Patreon for $5 a month. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Because there's different tiers. So I'll think of it maybe just an interview of a host for 10 minutes, and just an idea. So, anyone else want to say goodbye or final thoughts while I'm still recording you, like the federal government?
I'm going to drop off and go back to bed. So,
no, Monty. Listen, we do appreciate your work.
Listen, Monty,
this does take work.
Good.
Yeah, no. So it does take work, Monty, and so anybody that can support you. Just do it one more time. Let people know basically, how they can support you. You're deep in Australia. You're a hermit. You do this stuff. You donate your time. Looks like we're on a break. Anyways, real quick, Monty, give your give your address.
Just Wafer Thin Entertainment on YouTube. Thank you very much. I love you all from afar because you have to social distancing. Coming up next, Bruce and Co. Stick around for that.
And Monty, thank you.
Thanks, Monty.